Hi there, everybody, and welcome to the Laza community. I'm back this week. I was gone last week. I
And I'm
apologize,
here.
guys.
We're both
Yes,
here now.
yes, we're both on stage again. And, you know, the only reason why I've been gone is kind of surrounding the same underlying tone as this week's theme for our show startups, starting new, new beginnings, first step forward, whatever you call it, getting yourself out there. And the reason why I've been gone is because I've been starting up a painting service, a handyman service in the area, um, trying to offer some good high quality uh, service for a reasonable price. Working with our customers and stuff, really trying to get out there and build up a following, so we could also ultimately go towards our other goals I've talked about. Um, you know, so but I made sure I was able to be here today with you guys, and I'm happy to be. What do you want to say about today and this episode today, Anna?
Well, honestly, I feel like I for one had the thought today that we've been not really doing our due diligences. Because I was listening to another podcast and they always give the shout out of like, this is when I'm doing it. This is, all of our just due diligences. Um, so to get started, we are live every single Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern. So 3 p.m. if you're all the way on the Pacific Coast. Figure it out in between. We post it all the time, but we go live on Facebook. We go live on Facebook and YouTube. So Facebook for Crystal Dragon Illumination, Facebook for Oasis Fundamentals, and YouTube for Oasis Fundamentals as well. We're also on the Laws of Life Facebook and my personal Facebook page. So that's where we're live. If you want to see us in any of those places, you're more than welcome to join us. You're more than welcome to comment, like welcome to my mom who joined us and commented live. And we always like to interact with anyone who we have commenting live. However, after that, if you're looking for us otherwise, we are on a lot of podcast platforms as well as 137 Roku channels. So be sure you find us
Not
wherever it
130,
is.
not 137 Roku channels, 137 channels, including a Roku channel, the Laws of Life Roku channel.
Okay, we'll check on that later. Or maybe Kirill can confirm which terminology is right. But yeah, we're in a lot of places.
Yeah, and hey, so with all that too, doing our due diligence and talking about what's
Okay,
coming next.
apparently you're correct.
Well, whoo. Anyways, I told you so. I'm just kidding. Anyways, gotta make a laugh. Uh, but with our due diligence, speaking on that, before we introduce our guest for today, I do want to allow you guys to know we do have a good handful of people this month for you guys that it's definitely going to be an exciting month. Um, you know, I
Most
personally
definitely.
I personally am really excited for my special week this month because someone who I'm really admiring where he's gone from being homeless to where he is now going towards home free. Um, but this month we're at the end of the show. We'll let you know a little bit more about what's coming.
And you could be coming on to the next episode. And if you want to be a guest, please apply for that. I believe we have a link to throw up. I'm not sure. But yeah, definitely reach out to us nonetheless. And you can be a guest on the show. That would be amazing. We would love to have all of you on. Um, So yeah, I think we're about good. Do we want to introduce our guest now?
I do say that we should introduce our guest now. I feel like it's a good time for that.
Alrighty. Especially since we want as much time as possible to talk with her.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Powerful, powerful episode.
I feel like we should do a little bit of just how I found this wonderful person.
Mhm.
So we live in Melrose, New Mexico. It is 2 hours from Lubbock, Texas. That is the one of, well, yeah, no, it's basically the closest major city. So like we can go and watch like really good movie theaters there and stuff. There's a movie theater in Clovis, but it's not as good. Um, so yeah, we go there when we want to do fun things. We just have to recall that it is an hour ahead of us from New Mexico. So yeah, that is one of the places that I found an area for me to go market Crystal Dragon Illumination and set up an actual vendor market. And lo and behold, it was only thanks to Miss Sam. I'm probably gonna say it wrong. Rakedoll, Gatton. I can't say it right. She can fix it. But yeah, she's the reason that I found it. If she wouldn't have made the market, I couldn't have attended.
Yeah, you were
Yes.
close on the middle name.
Okay, close is all right. It's good with me.
Hi, how are you?
Well, welcome to the show, Sam, Raicodoll, Gaitan.
Yeah, it's close. It's
Okay,
Gaitan, but you can also say
Gaitan.
game and everything. So
Okay. Hey,
What
no,
what
I like pronouncing names as accurately as possible,
yeah,
especially since I'm someone I love words. Words are my favorite tool in the
hmm
universe. And learning as much language and other cultures and pronunciations is something I've always enjoyed.
yeah,
So
yeah. No, I've heard every variation of my last name.
so could you possibly give us the correct pronunciation just for all of the
It's
listeners?
so for my last name, it's Gaitan. So it's like Guy then Thon,
Huh.
which you wouldn't get from looking at it. So
No, definitely not.
I mean, I kind of did. But then again, I took quite a few years of Spanish, and
yeah, yeah,
you
I know.
know, it
It's
kind of
it's it's
helps.
just a weird mix. I've only seen a few people actually have my last name. Or one time I met someone that had the phonetic spelling of my last name as their last
Mhm.
name.
Huh, interesting. So, uh, I'm gonna ask you a couple questions real quick
hmm
before Hannah and you kind of get more deep into the conversation. Um, so when it comes to community for you, what is the one biggest thing that drives you in your community to do as much as you do for it and
I
building it
mean,
up?
a lot of it started out of just like not having a spot for myself in this community, of just like feeling like an outsider, not having a place to show all my stuff, because a lot of what I like and a lot of what I do is very outside the norms of typical like West Texas college town and everything. So
Mhm.
it mostly just came from just my saying is always like, if you can't find a place for you, make it. And so that has been the driving point of just like, okay, let's get all the outsiders, let's just make a spot for all of them, and then we'll finally find our community. We'll just have to make it ourselves. So that's always been the driving force between all of my everything I do, pretty much.
That's awesome. That's amazing because that right there we definitely really align on that point. That's a lot of why I do what I do. I always felt like the outsider, always growing up and throughout every bit of school and even into my adulthood, I've been outcasted or even the outcast of the outcasts. I feel like.
Yeah,
Um, and not really feel like I fit into one spot. So, I've been on this kind of mission the next couple of years. I want to get enough land to start building a town.
yeah,
So I can really kind of start fresh and really help build a community from ground up and on some good morals and family ethics and stuff like that. So
Yeah, no, I
You
mean
know,
that's it's sometimes like you just if you I mean there's nothing if you can't refurbish something or revitalize
mhm,
it, you just have to create it from the ground up.
absolutely. Now, going off of that, um, what was it that really what was the first step that you took to make your business, your career in doing what you're doing? What was
It
the thing
was
that kind of propelled you?
it was completely by accident, honestly. um,
Okay.
so about like roughly 8 years ago, I was very deep in the comic book community and everything. I had enough time and money that I would every Wednesday I would go to our local comic book shop, Star Comics, and go grab comics. I was reading it. I was involved online with it, and I noticed a lot of other towns had uh, the comic book shop had something called Ladies Night, and it was for female fans to get together and like show, hey, this is a growing demographic, and to feel comfortable in the comic book shops. And I was basically like, well, we don't have that here. Like, I would like that. So I just emailed Robert, who's the owner of Star Comics, and I was just like, hey, do y'all do this? And he was like, no, but I'd like to talk to you about it. And somehow I ended up running Ladies Night at Star Comics, roughly for like
Oh wow.
3 times a year. And the very first one we did had like a massive turnout. So we would just, at first I was making the flyer art for it. So I'd make custom art. We do a theme, we do a specific female superhero. And then eventually I started bringing on female artists that were local. And so having them do the flyer and having them be featured artists. And I did that roughly for about 3 or 4 years before I passed it off. But that led to me, when they had a second store, they had a wall that they would use as like a gallery space. And so I was curating themed galleries for Art Trail and everything every month and getting local artists to display there. And it just kind of slowly snowballed until I ended up getting sharing a studio in like our big Art Trail district. And I guess because I just met the right people and we had ideas, it's just blown up from there. So it's I stumbled into it and then it steadily just snowballed out of control until now I'm here.
Oh wow. That's awesome.
I
That's
feel like
amazing.
that's the best way though. Nothing wrong
Yeah.
with it at all.
Yeah, it's just this wasn't something that I like thought of like growing up that it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna run events and I'm gonna do this stuff. It just happened.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's crazy because in your line of work too, I only really started thinking about event work and how important and how huge it is in comparison to so many industries. Like recently we started going to 10x events and stuff like that, and one of my buddies who's helping us with our business on one end, like his big aspiration has been to run events and to be an
Mhm.
event person. And once he started mentioning that to me, I started kind of looking around and just thinking about all the events we've been going to, and then job fairs and comic cons, and all these things that are, they're all events, and somebody's got to set it up, somebody's got to handle it and do it and get it all coordinated and figured out. And so, really, you
Yeah.
guys are kind of the backbone to almost every industry's
Yeah, it's I
you know
never like an
marketing.
event organizer is not something that sounds glamorous at all or sounds like artsy, but it's just like it's yeah, I mean there's as an organizer you have an opportunity to um, help other businesses and other artists and other creators by bringing them in, whether it be like if it is like a corporate event. I mean, you have catering, you have the workers, the people that rent the tables and everything. Like those are all different businesses and third parties that you're bringing in, and that's kind of similar to what we're doing with the markets. It's just we provide the space and we organize it and we say, hey, 30 different small businesses come and have the opportunity to sell at this market. We're providing that for them. And so it's really weird, like connection of just like, oh yeah, that is necessary to all these businesses to help support them, because a lot of them, like, they will book 15 events in a year and everything just to keep them running, and that's a huge income for them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a huge income. I barely have my online website and stuff going up, and so all of my income currently basically comes from any markets that I'm able to attend.
Yeah.
So I appreciate any and all of them. Even if I have to drive 2 hours and skip an hour, hop over a fence, something
Yeah.
like that. Whatever whatever we gotta do, we're gonna go. I know the other day we got up the crack of dawn. It was so exhausting, but we went and it was great. We did so many readings, lots of healings, like
Hmm.
so many more things come from the hard work that you do put in behind the scenes.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's there's something to be said about, like, yes, online is easy, it's great, you can reach people that aren't local, but like, you build more connections and are able to connect with people, and also, like, I mean, business wise, you make more sales by being face to face, because they can handle it and look at it in person, and they're also meeting you and can connect you to whatever you're selling or whatever you're doing. So you do better face to face. And I think it's just nice being able to meet the people that are, taking away what your products or your services, and they get to also see who's making them.
Yeah, it was really, and oh my gosh, like I can't even not mention the Goblin Market. When people were trading things,
Yeah.
um, and like we had a client come back and like specifically hand me one item and him one item, and it was such an energetic connection you would not get any other way.
Yeah, no, Goblin Market was definitely something that I wanted to, because we do a lot of markets, but I wanted it to be slightly different based on the theme of it. But it's just also like something that they're interacting with you. So it's a lot of you're
Yeah.
explaining what you're doing, if you're bartering, if you're playing a game, and like there's just a connection that they're making, because they're like, oh, I'm actually like talking to you, and like bartering is great because you're like, okay, what do you have? And then they're like, well, I want that. Will you take this? And you're like, do you have something else? And it's just fun just to kind of, it's like, it could be like a $5 item, but you remember it more if you're bartering for it and interacting with the
Yeah.
seller. So it's just great.
Yeah, most definitely. Did you have any other questions, Ron?
Well, I was just gonna say, oh man, what was it? Well, yeah, I was gonna add in how along the lines of the Goblin Market too, because the only thing I really remember, because I only had slight interaction with you while there, so this is really the first time actually talking and getting to know you.
She never
But
has time to talk during markets. This is the first time
well,
I've gotten to
Yeah.
talk to her too, honey.
well, and this is awesome. I mean, the fact is like during that whole time, anytime that Hannah needed something, you were always there helping her in that moment, and you were even ahead of it a couple times. What I believe she said, and it was awesome how on beat you were with everybody, and with just how crowded it was too. You being able to keep up with it and do all that and handle it, and all the noise and all the ruckus and all the kids and adults going in and out and everything, like you really gotta you really gotta keep your mind in a good place to be able to handle all that. And that takes a lot. And recently we met somebody in Florida who shout out to Samia and Angel, because you really like, you're reminding me of them, with just how you were there. You definitely, and the way that you talk about it and the passion you have, because uh, what they said is basically, with their style of eventing, it's for people, for a place to stay when they're going to an event, when they're
Mhm.
in town for an event. So um, they like to make sure that it's kind of like home when people are
Yeah.
there. And in a sense, that's kind of how you made it while we were there. Anytime that Hannah needed something you took care of her and you took care of everybody else that needed something from you too. You really, that's it takes a lot, and it's commendable.
Thank you. I mean, I think honestly,
Well,
it's probably the people pleaser in me. But it's just like, it's because so many people ask, like, oh, you had a ton of people. Do you feel like it's a success? It's like, I'm not registering. Like, there's a ton of people here. I'm mostly like, are the vendors okay? Are they getting traffic? Is it too crowded? Let me adjust things for you and everything. So it's like, I'm usually running around with my head cut off and everything, just scrambling. Because I think even at Goblin Market, because we had a photographer with a backdrop for people to come in, but I can tell that people were kind of like tentative to go back there. So I was on the ground making an arrow pointing to the area with tape and everything and directing people, just because like my whole thing is, okay, if one vendor walks away not having good spirits, everybody's like, oh well, no one come and saw me, then I don't feel good. So it's mostly like, okay, what are the issues? Like, how do we handle traffic? I want everyone to get to be able to participate and not just be like, well, no one came and saw me. So that's usually my main mindset during these markets, of just making sure all the vendors are okay. And then it's like, okay, is everyone visiting, having fun? What can I do? Because most of the time I'm not even at my own art table because I'm just handling everyone else.
yeah. All right, that was all the questions I had or any input I had, and you could take over. I'm sorry.
Hey, you're fine. Everything happens for a reason.
No.
Because that would, that basically goes over one of the things that I wanted to talk about. But directly with that is actually the newest group that you just made, the Facebook group
Mhm.
for the market vendors, which I absolutely love. I don't know if you want to say a tiny bit about that at all.
Yeah, it's I think it's just, with like, I'm still coming to terms that I am a public figure, that I am someone that people is like, oh, if you need something, you go talk to her, because I get so many messages of just like, how do I do events, or how do I find them, or anything like that, because they're kind of scattered and people want to find the ones that best fit them. So rather than like messaging in detail every single person that contacts me, I'm just like, here's a group, and I'm trying to share it with other organizers and everything. It's just like, you post vendor call outs or artist applications here. That way, it's just, if someone's trying to get more into markets, there's just a better resource, because everything's word of mouth, everything's who you know. And I just think that just having the information in one like central area would just be so helpful to especially new creators that are out there.
Wow, I just love it because it's absolutely like it's taken off. I know I personally am at fault for not doing my own introduction yet, but it is definitely taking off, and we've had other people inputting, and I know I joined one like newsletter, I think, to find some
Mhm.
stuff. So
Oh
definitely
yeah.
it's exciting. It's exciting, especially in my opinion, at least. I'm
Yeah,
not saying anyone else.
I just think that's the hardest thing about being a creative and starting out like your own business, is just finding the information
Uh-oh.
and just kind of figuring out, like, how do I get these up for everyone?
Yeah, 100%. So, we don't have terribly much time left. I did want you to go over like exactly what it is you do very briefly, because we've just been uh kind of glazing over it, saying art, markets,
Yeah.
vending, things like that. So yeah.
Yeah, so I am an artist myself. I'm an illustrator, with ink, but I also organize a lot of local art markets and events and everything. So I mean, I'm with the CASP studios, which are application studios where we can work and be on the local art trail every month. So I have an art studio there that I try to host spaces for other artists to be featured. but primarily I am the lead organizer of the Oddities Art Market, which is kind of a weird, strange, huge market that we put on twice a year that tends to feature more weird, odd stuff. And so I try to organize a lot of that. I also do local pop-ups with Tumbleweed and Sage Coffeehouse. So it's mostly just a lot of art markets, vendor opportunities, pop-ups, and everything like that.
Yeah, and I absolutely love the art vending machines as well. I need to put my application in for that. That's for sure.
Wait, what? This is the first time I've heard of that. Art vending machines?
Yeah, I also own the Locos Market, which is repurposed snack vending machines that dispense local artists and vendors product. So about roughly half of the machine is individual slots that each artist gets, and then the other half is just like fun little items that I put in there. But currently we have one active one at Tumbleweed and Sage Coffeehouse in Wolf Earth, and then the other one is currently at my art studio. So it's all just weird different items, but it's like you can get earrings, art, jewelry. Sometimes we put tarot packs in there. I mean, it's just a range of different stuff.
Well, you hear that, everybody? Everybody that I know that loves to, try out all the different cool vending machines out there like I do.
Yeah, no, creative vending machines are great. They're spreading everywhere and everything. So it's been a fun like passion project and everything I've been working on side just to help more local artists that can't sit down and do vending opportunities often.
That's awesome.
So Tumbleweed and Sage Coffee Shop, right? Is that what you said?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And it's in Wolf Earth.
Alrighty, for sure. Yeah, I think someone recommended a market there to me, the farmers market, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the Wolf Earth Farmers Market.
Is that a good one to maybe go set up at?
It's big. It's fairly big. It's outside. It's on an actual working farm and everything. So you get a whole bunch of people that go there like every weekend.
Maybe worth a shot. I did want to make sure we said thank you to my mom for watching and commenting, as well as Cheryl, Cheryl Sproul. I can't.
Thank you, Aunt Cheryl.
Yes, Cheryl with the Wolf and Good Times. If you are anywhere near North Carolina, definitely go get your dog trained with her. So yeah, Sam, if your dogs need any training, we got the hookup. We can ship them to her, or drive them to her.
Do.
It's okay. Ours did too, and they're still little teenagers.
Do a lot better. Yeah, they're still little teenagers, but they do a lot better. They do a lot better.
Oh yeah, they listen to all their commands now.
Yeah.
Well, something else, hon?
I was just gonna say thank you for being here with us today and sharing what you do and everything you do for your community and helping others be able to get their businesses and their names out there. It's definitely an exciting thing to do. That's why we have this show, to help others. So definitely we need to find a way to do more together. Especially since you do events and we're looking to possibly do events at some point, like have some setup or whatnot. So you're the right person to know for that. So
I'm always coming up with new things. So
awesome. That's always good. Yeah, I always like if I can't like tell the people anything, I don't know what to tell them. I'm like, if you don't know what if you can't figure something out, you don't know who to call, just call me, because two heads are better than one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, all right, Sam, I guess we will let you get back to whatever it is that you need to take care of, and then we'll wrap up our audience.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you. And you're welcome.
Well.
All right. Well, everybody, like I said, we'd make a few announcements. So who do we have next week for the audience, babe?
Unclear.
Okay. Yes. Well, 2 weeks from now, for Homeless to Home Free, we have my buddy you're gonna love him. He's an amazing musician. He's an amazing just person, overall human being. What he's doing right now is just mind blowing. He's out there promoting recovery for people who are addicts, promoting it in his music. He's promoting it with his merch. Um, this guy, I'm excited to really have him on our show because he's someone who really can show he's gone from homeless to completely getting to home free. I mean, he's toured with Afro Man. Um, he also opened up for Kevin Gates. So he's definitely doing something with himself and for the people out there. He's completely doing it as an individual artist, independent artist, and all that. So you know, I definitely want to give out a shout out to him. That's somebody that you guys are gonna love. His name is Skylar Ray. And after that, for the last week, I know you have that person set up.
Yes, that is. I know her. I'm terrible with names. I know her first name is Betsy, but I don't remember her last name. And she is going to be going over meridian tapping as well as theta healing. I am super excited about that.
Awesome. I have no idea what meridian tapping is, but I'm excited to find out.
Yeah,
And last
if
but
you're
not
here.
least, I'm not going to state exactly what the event is, but there is an event on the
Why
29th of this
not?
month
We need to.
because we're not going to be connected to laws of life with this event. So I don't want to even title
Oh
it.
yeah, special. It's going to be a special
It's
episode.
a special
Only
episode
us.
from Oasis Fundamentals and Crystal Dragon Illuminations Laws of Community. Has no correlations with laws of life with Blanca. It has no connection with her. She has no anything to do with it. Just so then it's on the books
Nonetheless.
for her on this video recording. Uh, just so you guys know. But nonetheless, it's going to be an amazing event. We're going to be interviewing an amazing, huge music artist, and let's just say they do a lot for medical patients and stuff like that. So I'm excited. You guys are
So
going to have
yeah,
to definitely join us for that one.
basically, look out for our announcements of an extra episode coming up at the end of the month.
Yep,
So
it's going to be a
yeah,
Saturday.
yeah, keep up with us for sure. Interact with us live. We absolutely love. Yes, Mom. There's an art vending machine. You guys are coming through. Stop at the coffee house. Go to the art vending machine for me. Get me a thing, please. So yeah. Anything else, hon? Until next week.
uh, I think that's it. Next week we gotta seal in who's next week. I thought we already did.
I think you're gonna like next week.
You just what? You don't want to tell me?
I don't know. You'll figure it out.
Okay. I guess it's a surprise, guys.
All right.
But
We will see you guys next week. Thanks so much
all
for
right.
being here. Thank you to all of our live viewers again.
Yep. Thank you all for
And we
joining
have
us.
someone on YouTube. Yay. Thank you to
What? That's awesome.
whoever's
Yeah.
watching on YouTube.
Thank you, whoever's watching on YouTube. I think that's the first time I've seen a viewer on YouTube.
That is, I believe so. I mean, it just means we're growing, you know? We're
Yeah.
definitely
Absolutely.
growing our little community. And we love all of you guys, whether you comment, interact with us, and we know you or we don't know you. We love you, and you are part of our community. Most definitely.
Yep. And see you next week. And goodbye, guys. Love you all.
Bye, guys. See you next week.